Morning and for our week ahead. And we find that in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 2 through 8. This morning we're going to focus on verse 6, but we will read it all in context, so we'll begin in verse 2 through verse 8. So as you see in your bulletin, as was said at some points during the service, today is our covenant renewal service, and something we've been doing since 2014, 2015. So it's good along the way that we remind ourselves of why we have something like this. We just don't want something to be tradition for tradition's sake. We want to know why, and that why we want to answer the what. What is a covenant renewal service that helps us understand the why we have this? Well, for those of us here who have a Methodist background, you may already be familiar with what a covenant renewal service is. John Wesley, who was the founder of the Methodist Church, began to teach this idea of covenant renewal to the Methodist movement back in 1753. He did so with a view to encourage Christians towards spiritual discipline and consistency of life. And so it began on a small scale. Just a few years later, he introduced it more formally to be a special service built into the church calendar. So pretty much since its inception, the Methodist Church has had in its church calendar the covenant renewal service. So over the years, other churches and other denominations have seen a place for it. It's often on the first Sunday of the new year with a view to encouraging deeper devotion to God, such as we do here. Now, Wesley came about this through a Puritan book that had the typical Puritan title, A Vindication of Godliness and the Greater Strictness and Spirituality of It. Isn't that fetching? If you saw that at Barnes & Noble, you go, oh, I want to read that. One of those long, wordy titles the Puritans were famous for.